Welcome to the Bel-E and Scratch podcast. I am your host, Bel-E.
And I am Scratch.
And we would like to welcome you to podcast number 4.
Four.
Pretty much. You know, I must say, this has actually been a lot of fun, all things considered. Recording in a damn basement attic. You ever had one of those moments where you just
Storage Wars.
Oh God, pretty much. Yeah, you ever have one of those moments where you just get to so much, there's just so much clutter in whatever space you're in, you just gotta go, I gotta throw all of this out right now. Yeah, I had that about 5 minutes before hitting the record button.
Can't rent a bulldozer just anywhere,
No, you can't.
That's definitely what it would take.
Yeah, I think some people don't have that reflex where they just gotta throw everything out, and that's what creates hoarders.
That and a small exit. How do they get all that stuff? I mean, they get it in there one piece at a time, but I mean, how do you get rid of it?
I've seen stories of people having to knock down walls to get them out, especially if there's a fire.
With a forklift.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we didn't really have much of a topic to start on. I mean, we have something coming up for episode 5.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, was sort of hinted at in the last one. Actually, a lot of things were hinted at in the last podcast.
Pay attention.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be on the finals. Someone's got to teach around here.
Yeah. Oh, man. If I have to read one more article about how kids are being educated by day-drinking parents, I mean, gee whiz, really? People struggling to do their best, and they're just getting manhandled in the press. Day-drinking parents. Well, hey.
Yeah, that's actually something that we touched upon earlier this morning with some of our relatives about how, parents, they just let loose their kids onto the system thinking that will be all fine and dandy. And now they're stuck with the monsters they've created.
Stuck.
Yeah, all this stuff about, it's the teacher's fault. Oh, it's the counselor's fault. Yeah, that's all gonna go away.
At least half of it will, at least.
Yeah, minimum of half.
Sure.
Because now there's gonna be some kids out there who, they've never been touched before. They about to get whooped.
Metaphorically speaking, of course.
Sure.
Figuratively speaking, of course.
Well, literally speaking, that's dealer's choice.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well, that clipped the mic.
Good thing I can't hear anything.
Pretty much. Yeah, we're hoping to fix that at some point. But,
we're working on it.
Oh yeah, trust us. We understand how it sounds. It doesn't sound terrible, but it could be better.
Gonna be.
Oh yeah, we're working on it.
Gonna be.
But yeah, I mean, that actually does bring up something I've always wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if it's just because of some people start they start professing that they're like psychology majors. But if there is one thing
people giving you advice you didn't ask for?
Well, not just people giving you advice you didn't ask for, but also giving you advice that just sounds wrong and a little bit, I don't want to say is completely wrong based on the old way of doing things. I mean, it's not quite, it's not like when you go working out in the gym, you're trying to build muscle, you're supposed to intake protein, right? And then and then all of a sudden, there's like this new wave of people be like, no, in order to build muscles, you must have no protein, all vegetable diets.
Well,
and I'm like, dude, that doesn't, that's not how it works.
Yeah, there's things that are set.
Yeah. I mean, like, I get you don't want to eat meat, but you're basically, there's difference between wanting to get into vegetarianism or veganism versus trying to rewrite just decades of breakthrough science basically telling you in order to build muscle, you must intake protein.
Centuries.
And the reason I bring that up, I know it's a little bit of a segue, but it kind of relates to my question. The whole thing of in the past, relating to the kids getting disciplined.
Yeah.
In the past,
absolutely.
there was how do I say this in a advertiser-friendly way? That's the trick. There was what do you call it? Corporal punishment. I think that's allowed because it's nice and soft. And then slowly that started to recede to the point where on social media, mostly Facebook and not really Reddit, because Reddit kind of knows better, I think. I don't know. But you see stuff on social media saying that something about, the whole thing of, I got either the paddle or the belt as a child, and I grew up to be a fully functioning adult. And then there's people coming out of the woodwork saying, no, that you are a trauma survivor, and the way you interpret that means that you have excess trauma and you are in need of help from your parents hurting you as a small child. It's
I guess it depends. I guess it depends on what you want to give power to.
Fair enough.
You have a positive perspective. You have a not positive perspective, and there clearly are cases of abuse and discipline approaching that, and even dipping its toe in it. Every now and then.
Yeah, we're not saying that doesn't happen.
It does. But you can either you're going to use it for something. You're going to use it to propel you. You're going to use it to repress you. It's in the past. It happened. Okay. You can spin it so it enslaves you, or you can spin it so it powers you and raises you and edifies you and enriches you. So what you don't realize is that the part about being tough, there's an old saying. It's also a scripture. It says, "Iron sharpens iron." What you will find is that a tough upbringing will, as a general rule of thumb, actually make you toughen you up. Yes, it can be dysfunctional, but that's not its intention. Its intention is purely functional, and there is a place for it. Okay, to say that there is no reason, I don't believe that exists.
Reason? You mean?
Well, people say there's no absolute reason to use any kind. It's funny to me because I can remember growing up and like sixth and seventh grade, having a couple of the teachers that I had classes with, literally. But one in particular had each one of them had their own paddle.
Oh, so this is back when they were building the pyramids, I see.
Yeah. I don't think they were allowed to put a nail through it at the time.
No, that probably was taken out like 10 years prior.
At least.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was time for that. But I had this one teacher that had there was like a stand over the top of his head. There was a stand where his paddle hung. So if you looked at him sitting at his desk about 2 to 3 yards, 2 yards above him, from a seated position, was his paddle hanging like it was like a gun rack that had a paddle on it. Looked like a big wide cricket bat that had holes drilled through it.
Oh, one of those. Like a wiffle ball bat of doom.
Yeah, exactly. So the the holes through it cut down on the wind resistance.
Because that's how science works.
Strangely enough, he was a math and science teacher.
Of course, the only person that knows how physics works understands the need. It's like, in order to cut down wind resistance on the paddle swing, I must drill holes through it to allow free air to pass through. It's like, dude!
Got to decrease the airspeed coefficient when paddling that ass. He was a cool guy. He was an ex-Green Beret that had done 2 tours in Vietnam.
That makes sense. You had a math teacher with a paddle full of holes, and he had done 2 tours in Da Nang.
Da Nang, that's right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was brutal. No, he was a cool guy. I mean, you liked him. But he was tough.
Of course.
Of course.
You don't do 2 tours in a hell jungle and not be tough.
1978.
Yeah, that's about right.
77, 78, somewhere in there. Even maybe as far as 79. He was my math and science teacher for my 6th and 7th grade, and he had been working there since 72. He had done his 2 tours, and I believe it was either 68 and 69, which my understanding was very intense time. Well, I guess any time in war is an intense time.
Yeah,
extremely intense time. And he'd gotten hired somewhere in the mid 70s, somewhere between 72 and 75. And the story goes that they originally hired him as the PE teacher, give him a job.
Oh yeah, give the military dude the PE job. That I can't see that going wrong.
Somewhere in the first week of classes, him and his recently discharged from the war machine of 1969, he took the entire class. His main class, homeroom class, whatever, into the gym, and he had a bunch of mats laid out because he was catching a bunch of crap, back in the 70s. Those kids talk trash too. Mm-hmm. It was a little different.
Yeah, it was probably a little bit worse because now you can just express your rage via the social media.
Yeah.
Back then you didn't have that. You had to tell that teacher to their face how much you hated them.
Yeah, and
so we had all these mats out in the gym.
So he got in the middle of the mats. He told the entire class to just come at him.
Yeah, this sounds about right for the 70s. Yeah, that sounds about right.
He was probably smoking a Lucky Strike cigarette at the
time. Dude,
he's got it all clenched in his teeth.
I'm not that old, and I know what you're talking about.
Teenagers all over the gym.
Of course. Because that was back when teenagers would actually go and fight you too.
That's a good point.
I'm not saying teenagers wouldn't fight you today, but
I got beat up when I was a kid, man. People would just drop down and start knocking you hard.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I don't know. Does that sort of thing go on today?
Well, from my experience when I was in school, now granted, I didn't go looking for trouble. You know that.
True. Oh.
It's not, well.
You did.
I caused trouble.
You did mix it up a couple of times.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Well, just other people.
Well, here's the thing. Someone throws my books off the desk onto the floor. I throw them against the wall. There's a huge difference between doing that and actively seeking someone who didn't do anything to me. So
exactly,
there's a difference between an enforcer and a menace. I was not a menace.
Yeah, bully. Yeah. There was a lot of bullies when I was a kid. A lot.
Yeah. So. And
it was never ending. I can remember being in the 1st and 2nd grade and riding my bike to a school, and the kid that I was riding bikes with, his name was Nelson, and all of a sudden we were both 9, mm-hmm. somewhere in there,
mm-hmm.
and his 16-year-old cousin came up on a dirt bike.
Oh, this sounds good.
And grabbed my front tire and pulled my front tire off the ground.
Oh, that ain't cool.
And then just kicked it. So he's dragging me down. I'm in the second grade, dragging me down the road. He's on a dirt bike. He's holding my front tire, and I'm trying to stay on the bike and yell, "Let me go!" at the same time. There was some weird. I mean, there was a lot of bullying.
Oh yeah, yeah. More than likely, that's roughly the same ratio. The whole bullying thing, except the press usually gives the most attention to like the really horrifying things, not just the whole. They grabbed you at the front of your bike and they're on a dirt bike and they're taking you for a ride. Normally, it gives stuff to like the trying to be advertiser friendly. Even though I don't want to, because you gotta say some truth sometimes. The whole schools getting lit, if you catch my meaning. I know you don't catch my meaning.
No.
I'm talking about the people in their long coats where you can't see what's on their person.
You gotta give the old person filter. What's that mean for my generation?
I'm trying not to say something that happens in American schools that seems to be, I don't want to say increasing in frequency, but definitely getting a lot more press, so it appears to be increasing in frequency.
Well, that sure ain't recess, because they got rid of that a long time ago.
No, and in my opinion, they shouldn't have, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that was a bad idea.
Yeah, that was a bad idea. You keep kids inside for like 8 hours a day, you're gonna have some issues, like big issues, which, looky here.
All that fluorescent fake light, baking them.
Frying their brains, but maybe that was the whole point. I don't know.
That's been said. But anyway.
So basically, I'm sure, I know bullying still continues. It's just we just see the really dark side of it. Not just the whole shoving them into lockers and calling them names, which is horrible too. But we just see like the extreme end where
I've seen that.
They drug some person to like a secluded area and just caved their face in, and their family don't even recognize them. Just horrible things. I'm not saying, that can't be the end-all, be-all.
Which doesn't make any sense. I mean,
like
where's that type of rage? It's not rage.
Yeah, it's sadism, in my opinion. Like the wrong type.
Yeah.
Because for some people, there's the fun type, and then there's the bad type. That there is not the fun type.
No, it ain't.
So I think a lot of it, I don't want to be that boomer, because I'm not.
Nope.
I just looked it up the other day. Apparently I'm Gen Z and I had no idea.
I'm X.
Yep. So essentially I don't want to be that person that blames the internet for the increase in violence. I don't want to say it is, but at the same time I know it is. Does that make sense? Where it's both?
Well, I mean,
the reason... go ahead.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think people are specifically more violent right now than people have ever been.
No, they ain't. Yeah, that whole thing of where people talk about...
If you paid attention in history class...
Yeah, if you paid attention in history class...
There's been periods of rioting and people burning stuff and, you know... Civil unrest. It's happened. Yeah,
humans have always been violent creatures.
It's like, when we watched that old 1980s fantastic show, The Young Ones. And you see those episodes, where the people are fighting out in the street and the military pulls up.
Yeah, that happened.
That happened. That went on. I mean, and it's happened various times.
When they showed, I think it was the episode where they were trying to prepare the house for Neil's parents to visit in the show The Young Ones, which, by the way, you need to go watch that, listener.
Yeah.
You have to. At least season 2. Season 1, they were trying to figure out what they were doing. Season 2, they hit their stride, and I wish they made a season 3.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I would have stabbed somebody for a season 3 of The Young Ones.
There was a lot of people that would have stabbed somebody for a season 3 of The Young Ones.
Metaphorically speaking,
you can't understand the universe until you watch The Young Ones.
Yeah, because those guys were on a different level. They were living in a different level. Like a world away, essentially.
It still works all these years later.
All these years later, it still works. And There was an episode where Neil's parents, the hippie, his parents were coming over. I don't remember why, just a social visit, I suppose. I'm sure that's pretty common in England, or was. I don't know anymore.
Sure.
So they're basically just trying to get the house in order. And here's the thing. This is basically a college dorm house with 4 guys in it. So the house is not up to par.
Should be condemned.
Should be condemned. Actually was condemned in the final episode.
Yes.
So essentially what had happened was, let's see, Rick was like just throwing stuff everywhere, Vivian was throwing stuff everywhere, Neil was throwing stuff anywhere. Mike leaves to go get something, I believe. I don't remember what he leaves the house for, but every now and again the young ones would segue into like a musical guest act.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see, 9 Below Zero was one in the first season. They had Madness on twice. They had a band called The Damned, and of course... Motorhead! Best band ever!
The loudest band in the world when they came out.
Oh, yeah.
The origin of the double bass.
Oh...
Anyway, I think wasn't Madness in that episode?
Madness was in that episode. They were singing Our House, then Mike.
That's right.
Yeah, Mike goes outside, and they're all set up, and they're singing Our House, and then I forget exactly what happened. Something gets thrown out of the house, and it hits someone in the head, and there's a miscommunication, and people just start fighting.
Yeah.
And people just start fighting and just destroying property, and it turns from like a couple people fighting to a whole lot of people fighting.
Old people.
These
people are in the street knucking it out, and they're all wearing tweed for crying out loud.
Because that's how the English rolls.
Oh man.
Those people definitely got some scotch in them.
Lady's got a sack of groceries just wailing on an old dude.
Just whooping up on somebody. The cops show up, an ambulance shows up, and then a tank shows up. And this is all being done.
And then an armed personnel carrier shows up. The troops start getting out.
Yeah, and this is all happening while Madness is singing Our House. And then at some point, the violence just gets so bad where even the band Madness, as soon as they finish up their set, they start attacking each other with their own instruments and breaking stuff and destroying the drum set. And the dude, I forget the guy, I don't know all the members of Madness's names, but the dude with the saxophone just runs at the camera and smashes his saxophone on the camera. And then they join in on the fight too while the military is engaging.
Yeah, they get off the truck. They're the military's on. The cops show up with batons. They start baby seal clubbing everybody, and
because again, that's how they roll.
That's how they roll. And then the military shows up, and there's all these dudes in fatigues and green berets getting off this truck with a
tank in tow.
Apparently, World War II surplus rifles.
Because yes.
That's what the prop department had.
Hey, it works. We got the point.
That's right. All those guns picked up off the... I'm not going to say that.
Wait for the paywall.
No, that was bad.
Wait for the paywall.
It was, it was just the way it was. I mean, there have been times like this. Civil unrest.
Oh yeah, that's happened throughout all history.
All history and all places and all peoples and all things.
Yeah, humans they've always been violent. Now whether you say that as a good thing or a positive thing, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It just is.
It just is. Wind is wind. It might be a cool wind, it might be a hot wind, it might be a warm wind, it might be a chilly wind. Wind is wind.
Wind is wind.
That's just the way it is.
We don't make the rules. We're just observing what's happening. Ultimately,
just be a survivor. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. Do your best.
And everybody else doesn't matter.
Try not to break the law.
Try not to break the law, but we won't get into that in terms of modern events because we're gonna get shut down faster than. I want to say something, but I know it's gonna get us taken down, and it's probably not even gonna be funny. Get shut down faster than WACO. Don't say that out loud.
actually. That
yeah, I know there's a lot of stuff surrounding that, but I don't want to talk.
Extended process.
Yeah, I know it was an extended process, and I know there was a lot more to that than what we're being told. Yeah, sooner or later. I don't know all the details.
Well, I could.
Mm-hmm.
Flame on.
Oof. Yeah.
So no, that's not a big issue.
No, I get it.
But the young ones.
The young ones.
Check it out.
Check it out. 10 out of 10 would highly recommend.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
This the first season. I wouldn't say skip it, but definitely watch that one last. Like season 2 is where it's at.
Season 2, that was
when they had Bambi. And they had Bambi. They had Cash.
Was Sick in the second one?
Sick was in the second one.
What about
the Halloween, the quote unquote Halloween episode was in the second season with the band The Damned.
The Nasty?
Yeah, that was a second season that had The Damned in it.
Damned.
Yeah, the band The Damned is awesome and campy.
What a great group.
Yeah, they're still together.
That's what I heard. I saw something about them about 6 months ago.
Yeah, they're still going on. But that's I think cool. Part of it is just they're just making music because they like doing it, and they just don't. I don't think they hate each other. I would hope not.
Well, you spend enough time.
Spend enough time with anyone. You either really, really like them, or you just really want them to not exist anymore.
Especially if you're all greased up in a pile of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Famous entertainment act might be.
Yep. So, yeah, that's all second season. The reason, it's not that we don't recommend season 1, it's just, I'm not entirely sure what the issue was. I think they were just still trying to figure out their style in season 1.
The elements in that, the characters and the characterizations and the story and the storylines and all the tangents that they would take definitely took time to gel.
It did. It took
timing,
time. Yeah. Development.
I mean, they clearly looked comfortable with each other in the first season.
Oh yeah.
But things kind of were choppy.
Yeah, choppy, not quite flowing. I heard something about they had not really done like television before, the writers, so they were still trying to figure out how to like write competently, something like that. I don't know all the details.
Sure.
And because apparently the majority, let's see, I know Rick, the guy that plays Neil, and the guy that plays Vivian, they were like stage comedians before they were on The Young Ones. I don't know about Mike. I don't know where the heck he came from.
Yeah, and I don't know where he went either.
Yeah, he kind of showed up out of nowhere to our knowledge. Like, even Alexis Stallier.
Yeah.
He was a comedian before The Young Ones, and he still did stand up after.
He still does.
Yeah, the guy that does Mike, we don't know what happened to him. Yeah, Belofsky.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know what happened to him.
I don't know what happened to Mike.
I don't know. I looked him up on IMDb and I just went, I don't know what any of this is.
Yeah.
Granted, I'm not the most avid watcher of the BBC because I'm stuck in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it, honestly, but,
it'll come back.
Oh, it will.
It will.
But, yeah.
Just like pro wrestling, it'll come back.
Yeah, when they finally figure out what the heck they're doing.
They have to go through a generation of crud before they find somebody that actually relates to the audience.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and plus a lot of the big names in wrestling, they're kind of gone. There really hasn't anyone like, Now, granted, this is a little bit of an old example, but Stone Cold and The Rock.
Yeah.
Those guys, now granted, I wasn't there when they were like super big, but I remember hearing that those guys were so big in the WWE/WWF, depending on the year, obviously.
Obviously.
They were so big that they drew in people who weren't wrestling fans. Like, you couldn't stop hearing about them.
Oh, yeah.
And I have not heard of anybody doing that for WWE.
Not to that level.
Not to that level where it drew in people who didn't watch
Mick
wrestling.
Foley, Mankind.
Yeah.
He's gotten close.
Yeah, he got close. Let's see, The Rock, Stone Cold, The Undertaker.
Undertaker, definitely.
Ooh. Ooh.
He has a built-in fan base.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm in that fan base. It's not going away.
No.
John Cena to a degree.
Yeah.
He was admittedly like a pretty boy meathead to me. Because here's the thing, in my opinion, as a lady,
sure.
he looks good.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's smart or anything, but he looks good.
Well.
He seems to do a pretty good job. I'm trying to think. Who else would be technically a draw? Triple H to a degree. Shawn Michaels to a degree. I would watch Shawn Michaels over Triple H personally. That's just my thing.
Yeah.
Mostly because
Shawn Michaels is out.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels is out. Triple H is
might get Triple H in something, but you'd want to see him get whooped.
Oh yeah, because I think what happened to Triple H is he married Stephanie McMahon, so he really doesn't have to work anymore if he so chose.
I guess.
I think Triple H kind of he's sort of doing the same thing that Vince McMahon is doing, where, and granted, now I haven't watched wrestling in several years, wrestling fan, so if I'm wrong, please leave a comment and tell me that I am wrong.
Yes.
Yes, please interact, all that fun stuff. Leave a comment, tell us things, suggestions. We don't care. I'll
talk about my haircut.
Actually not bad if you're looking at the picture. But I don't want to talk about my hair. Anyway.
It's great.
Yeah. But I think Triple H is doing the same thing that Vince McMahon is doing, which is like the evil suit.
Oh.
I think he's doing that. Yeah. I'm not sure.
It works. What's he gonna be?
I don't know.
He's been a heel.
Yeah, he's been a heel.
And even when he was a face, he really wasn't that great of a face. He was a better heel than he was a face.
True, which that's fine. Some people are better at one versus the other.
Now he's old and
he's bald.
And treacherous. And
he's old, bald. He married Stephanie McMahon.
If you're older, you have to be treacherous.
Mm-hmm. Because apparently that's just how it works.
Well, physically, he's not a match for anybody that could come along right now and draw press. People would be interested in. So he's got to be cunning.
He's got to be crafty.
Got to be crafty and a cheater.
Yeah, but
got to be a bad guy.
But here's the thing. I have not heard, here's the thing. I'm not connected into any channels. I'm personally not connected to any WWE channels, so I don't hear a lot of what they're doing, any storylines or any rivalries going on about. But that's the problem, is I'm not checked into these channels. I kind of gave up watching wrestling a long time ago, around the time, The Undertaker definitely retired, because at that point I'm just like, man, look, I know Undertaker's like pushing 50, 60 years old, but man, I want my Undertaker. He was my favorite because he was all spooky, and I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just stopped watching it because, well, I think a lot of people stopped watching after The Undertaker went away, let's be honest.
Well, what's so bad about it is, when Stone Cold Steve Austin, it was big.
That guy was
big.
Oh.
And there was no farewell tour for him, like somebody like Ric Flair. His farewell tour has lasted a couple of decades.
Oh yeah, because he is Ric Flair.
Because he's Ric Flair, but
Woo!
Stone Cold,
I think what happened to Stone Cold was he got really hurt.
He got really hurt.
Yeah, he got really hurt. Like, I don't remember what.
See him having issues with his knees.
Yeah, because he had to wear braces all the time.
Braces, but then somebody did something.
Yeah, that's what happened. Someone was doing, I think, and I'm, again, don't quote me on this. I'm not looking at anything that says the details of it. But he was in a matchup with somebody who did some sort of pile driver, except they did it wrong. I think they had Stone Cold too low. You're supposed to when you're doing a pile driver move, you're supposed to have someone put a certain amount of height off of the mat. That way, when you drop them directly on their head and therefore their spine, it lessens the impact on their head and spine. But this guy had him too low, I think.
I can't imagine.
When he dropped him, it basically just roughed him the heck up.
I can't imagine a move like that being used on someone in his
condition.
Well, not necessarily condition, but
Yeah.
someone in his, you know, I know they want the, you know, he was extremely popular at the time. The rattlesnake.
Oh yeah.
I was getting a little tired of the beer shtick, but you know that was his thing.
You were just mad because he wasn't sharing.
He wasn't sharing. He wasn't Lucy,
Mm-hmm.
and he and then he just disappeared. I mean, you could see him trying to get through a couple of matches.
Yeah,
I just can't.
He got roughed up.
I don't understand
really
why he even allowed himself to be put. I don't care who it is.
Honestly, I don't either.
That's a dangerous move.
Yeah, there's a reason why there's only certain there's a reason why you've only seen certain people do that pile driver move, especially in the later years. The only person I personally saw it who used it very frequently was The Undertaker, because that was a trademark move. Not only that, but The Undertaker was like 6'7" at minimum.
At least. He was somewhere between 6'7" and 6'10".
Yeah, he was I think he is 6'10".
Yeah, 6'10".
So either way, this guy was tall.
There's some Lakota Sioux in there somewhere, I hear.
He's got to be in. There's got to be some American Indian somewhere in him. So here's the thing: he was really tall, so he could very easily pick you up a certain amount off of the mat, so it wouldn't like destroy your spinal cord. Basically,
he probably could drop somebody. It looks so real for someone of his height to drop somebody. Sure,
but obviously he knew what he was doing, being, you know, like 30, 40 plus years in the biz. You know, and then he retired, he lost the streak, and that was it, and I was unhappy. And I stopped watching because I'm like, Undertaker's gone, he was spooky. I mean, I get it, but still, like, jeez.
I always wonder where he got those big dishwashing gloves from.
They probably had special ordered those after a while.
I guess. I'm like, what in the world is that?
Yeah. Yeah, I heard. Yeah, I heard. You know, I don't know where he got those gloves. They probably made them for him. But yeah, but there really hasn't been anybody who has been a draw for the WWE.
No one has captured the imagination.
No, there's not. You know, there's not been one person from the WWE where it's like, oh, did you see what this dude or this chick did? They like climbed on top of the roof of the arena and then dive bombed directly onto the ring, and as soon as they hit the ring, they did like a quadruple backflip and drop kicked someone outside of the ring, and then they like phase shifted through time and went backstage and like slapped Vince McMahon and then went back to the ring, but all before the ref could count to 10.
It's a sonic screwdriver.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I haven't heard anything like legendary. Actually, you know what's kind of screwed up in a way? Well, maybe not screwed up, but just kind of interesting in a way.
Yeah.
I have not heard stuff about that from the WWE, but do you know where I have heard tales and whispers of people just performing their hearts out in the wrestling ring?
Yeah.
New Japan Wrestling.
New Japan Wrestling.
I mean, now granted, I don't have the context for this match, but I remember
that stuff will make you hold your breath.
Yeah, New Japan Wrestling is where it's at.
It ain't no joke.
Yeah, if you like wrestling, if you, the listener, like wrestling at all, and you're just like, man, the WWE just ain't cutting it, go look at New Japan Wrestling.
New Japan Wrestling.
I showed you, Scratch, a video of a dude by the name of Will Ospreay, or Ospreay. However you say
Ospreay?
Ospreay? The dude, I think,
Bird?
The dude is, I think, Australian or New Zealand, so I don't even know how you say it. I'm not.
Oh.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Okay.
So I don't know how to pronounce it.
I don't know.
And what had happened was there was this clip. This is what got me into New Japan. Now, granted, I haven't been an avid watcher because I don't know who anyone is, and I haven't picked a favorite yet.
And I can't pronounce their names anyway.
Oh, I can. You be quiet. But there was a video of I'm trying to think. I think it was Will Ospreay was like on the top buckle of one of the corners of the ring, and I know this guy's name, but I don't know him that well. He like ran towards him.
Yeah.
while Osprey was on the top buckle, and he was trying to hit Osprey, like knock him off of the buckle. And instead what happened was the guy running into the buckle, he got kind of like knocked into the that corner of the ring. Meanwhile, Osprey, to avoid getting knocked off of that top rope, he jumped, did a flip, and landed directly on his feet, which I have never seen anyone do before. You remember now?
Yeah. No, I can't imagine who's going to do that on this side of the Pacific.
No.
Too many beer bellies. And,
oh yeah. There's like not a lot of high flyers anymore. I mean, I think Rey Mysterio hasn't retired yet.
I thought
I'm not sure.
I think he's the original Rey Mysterio.
No,
I don't think it's the original.
No. Sorry, Junior. Technically Junior. Yeah, the Will Ospreay flip. Yeah, he's sorry, I'm looking at a video now. He's like on the top rope and he's fending some dude off. Oh, okay. What happens is he's on the top rope and he's trying to do some sort of splash move. It's like a tag team match, I believe. And someone he tries to like, now mind you, I don't know all the wrestling moves, but it's yeah, he's on the top rope and someone's struggling to get at him, and all of a sudden he just jumps up. He does like some sort of
okay, that
dude, I showed you.
That's
sorry, we're looking at a video while you are not also looking at a video.
That's ridiculous right there.
Yeah, go look up Will Ospreay lands on his feet. There should be a video called Will Ospreay flip. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Just go look at that.
I don't know if I would ever try that move again.
No.
Because the success of it is definitely a statistical anomaly.
Yeah, this guy is just... Holy crap. I don't know who anyone else except for Will Ospreay is, but I know who that guy is.
I can't even imagine saying, okay, all right, at this point, I want you to grab me with your knees, and I want you to grab me around my ears and my throat.
And I want you to throw me off the top rope.
I want you to throw me off the top rope using the inertia of your body.
And then I'm going to flip in the air and land on my feet.
And land on my feet in a total badass position.
Mm-hmm. And you're just going to look so shocked because you can't believe that I did that.
And I'm going to be shocked too, but you're never going to see it.
Uh-huh.
Oh my Lord. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's New Japan Wrestling for you.
Not me.
Yeah, apparently that's where all the talent in the world has gone, is Japan. I guess because they're paying them better? I don't know.
The insurance better be better.
Yeah, insurance.
Holy cow.
Yeah, insurance is probably not only
better,
but cheaper.
That's not a recipe for spending the rest of your days on a vent wearing a diaper, having some stranger come in and wipe your ass every day. Nothing is. Man alive.
Yep, that's it.
Ooh. I think I was that young at one time, but holy cow. Man, that was dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Especially during the 70s. So yeah, New Japan Wrestling Japan in general seems to be where all the talent went. Because for some reason, WWE has... I'm not saying they're bad. They're just not as good as they used. They're stuck.
Yeah, they're stuck.
Yeah, they are just in a spot where they're just kind of going on via the inertia based on all the stuff they've done in decades past at this point.
I mean, it has its, it's ebb and flow. It has its seasons, I guess. But no, it's you when it starts finding itself, and when it starts finding itself in prime time.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's an old television reference, and it's not necessarily with streaming services and the internet, but a primetime spot on TV be like Friday, Saturday,
some parts of Monday,
and when that starts showing up on not just one of the specialty services.
Mm-hmm.
But don't they have their own channel?
I think they do. They definitely have their own streaming service, I believe. I think, or at least a channel on a streaming service, which I'm just like. So you basically just opened up a channel where people just watch all your old stuff. I gotcha.
Oh, well, they can't do that for everybody.
No, they can't do that for everybody.
Man, there's some old school stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like the NWA.
Oh.
People get,
Wait, NWA? That's the rap group. Or you mean NWO? New World Order.
No.
Because there's NWA, the rap group.
It was National Wrestling Alliance. That was,
whoa, is that one of the old territories?
That's one of the old territories.
Oh,
the Carolinas.
Okay. Back
that covered where we live in our region.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is like before the WWE. This is back when they had wrestling territories.
Yeah, the WWF was mostly in the northeast.
Around the New York area?
Around the New York area.
Okay, that makes sense.
The New England area and all those places. And everything down here was NWA. Mm-hmm. And then there was Florida.
Florida had their own because, of course,
Florida
they did.
had their own.
Because, of course, Florida did.
And
hang on, let me
every now and then you'd catch some of that stuff coming out of Texas.
Yeah, hang on, let me look up the. You go ahead.
And every now and then you'd catch something coming out of the Midwest.
The old wrestling territories.
Yeah.
All right.
I will never forget. There was this one wrestling league that popped up. Apparently, someone said, "Hey, I got a great idea," and apparently, a lot of money. Let's create a. I don't want to say Christian. But it was definitely...
What, religious?
No, it wasn't religious per se.
Okay.
But they didn't use... It was really weird. There was no dirty stuff, and they didn't use bad slang. Because,
So it was like cleaned up promos. It was like
cleaned up promos where they would be calling each other like a dumb bunny.
That just sounds stupid.
It was stupid. It was like Honor Wrestling or something like that. It used to come on the Christian station in the nearby town.
Oh, yeah.
It was a riot. An absolute riot.
Look, you ain't got to cuss out your opponent in the promo, but...
No, you don't.
That's just super Jesus-like. You don't cuss out people, you don't take the name of the Lord in vain, but you gonna hit somebody with a chair!
You're gonna hit somebody with a chair, and they didn't have it in that kind of stuff.
Let's see.
It was
Sorry, you go ahead.
IWA, Independent Wrestling Association.
Hang on, I found the names of the old wrestling territories. Let's see. The WWF was in the New York area. There was adjacent to the WWF was a National Wrestling Federation around Buffalo and Cleveland.
Okay.
In the Canadian region, there was Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling, Canadian Athletic Promotions, IWA, something in French that I can't pronounce. I'm not going to do that because I don't speak French. Northland Wrestling Enterprises, which is still around the Canadian border. Maple Leaf Wrestling, which was in Toronto. Let's see. Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, which is the Charlotte area.
Yep.
This is like a weird split territory. The Georgia Championship Wrestling, which had Georgia and this one patch under Michigan for some reason. I don't understand. I don't know what happened. Florida had Championship Wrestling from Florida. Okay.
Yep. Gordon Soley.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Michigan had I cannot read that. Yeah, the picture's a little too blurred out. Michigan had something. St. Louis Wrestling Club, World Wrestling Association in Indianapolis. Somewhere in the Midwest, there was like American Wrestling Association, NWA, Heart of America in the Central States, Tri-State Wrestling. Texas had 3 disputed territories, apparently.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, because Texas is basically its own country. Let's see, there was World Class Championship Wrestling in the Dallas area, Southwest Championship Wrestling in the San Antonio. Then there was Western State Sports in the Amarillo section.
I think Texas All-Star was what I remember.
Okay. Phoenix had Western States Wrestling Alliance. That's a mouthful. And California apparently was split in two. Big Time Wrestling in the north, and then there was World Wrestling Association, Hollywood Wrestling in the Los Angeles area. And apparently Hawaii had its own 50th State Big Time Wrestling, Polynesian Pacific Wrestling. I want to see that.
Yeah, those guys probably beat the crap out of them.
Oh, yeah. So there was, back in the olden days, there was all of these wrestling territories before Vince McMahon bought out his own company and then just bought out everyone else or drove them out.
Drove them out, bought them out. Same.
Had them assassinated, probably.
I would doubt it.
Yeah, there's more
He's
like
a ruthless dude.
Yeah, don't let the shtick fool you. That dude is rough. But then again, he's a businessman from New York. What do you expect?
He's a businessman. Yeah, well, yeah. Businessman from New York. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
pretty much.
That's a rough customer right there.
Been in a couple of scraps, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. And you know what's so crazy about Vince McMahon?
What?
That I've seen before he kind of stepped down when he turned like 70 or 80 or whatever, however old he is.
Couldn't get his walker up on the stage.
No.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
No.
You have to hit somebody with a chair. You can't hit somebody with a walker. So
no.
I guess that put him out.
Make a steel chair walker hybrid.
Little Jimmy chair. Boom. And run into people.
Oh, yeah. No, what I mean is one thing that's crazy to me about him. Now, I've never met the man. I don't think I ever will.
Probably not.
I doubt it. So, one thing that I always thought was kind of incredible was the fact that he played along with the show.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, after the Montreal screw job, he really didn't have any other choice but to play along as the corrupt businessman.
That is true.
Because at that point, it's like, you might as well do it.
You might as well.
You might as well just, yeah.
Yeah, you're not getting on the other side of that fence.
Yeah, you can't get on the other side of that fence.
No.
There's no way.
No.
So what ended up happening, what I mean is so incredible, is not just the fact that he decided to play along, but I've seen some, now granted, these are probably, obvious, these are, as staged wrestling is, this is probably like extra super staged, there was a couple of times when Vince McMahon actually came to the ring to wrestle as well, and I'm like, you are probably the last person that should be doing that, and yet you are. And he was, jacked when I first saw him, because I'm thinking, Vince McMahon's going to go fight. So I don't remember who his opponent was. It was something about him teaching someone a lesson because,
When he first started?
No. Not when he first started. Just, I don't remember when this was. This is around the time when I first started watching, somewhere in, the 2000s or something.
Oh, yeah, no. He spent a lot of time in the gym.
Oh, yeah. Sure. He spent a lot of time in the gym, and I just wasn't expecting it, when I first started watching it. Because at first I'm thinking, oh, yeah, Vince McMahon's going to go fight someone. This business suit, corrupt person. He's gonna go fight someone to prove a point or whatever. And he comes to the ring and he's got he's got dress socks, pants, and shoes, and he's got a black wife beater
did he
on.
Have a wife beater on?
Yeah, something like that. And I'm just like, oh my god,
he's got guns.
He's got guns. Jesus.
Yeah, really. You know what I never could figure out about him? I mean, I get the whole thing about his physique, obviously, if you're going to be in that realm.
No, I guess
it's going to be the alpha male.
That has to be
what I never could figure out was how come in the heat of battle his hair never moved.
Yeah, and, that's a little crazy.
I don't know what kind of hair gel voodoo he had going on there.
Well, you've got enough money. You can pay some. You can pay some voodoo priest
Maybe
to come.
Maybe he's having it stitched to his head, but
Probably.
I know it never moved. He's getting put in headlocks and tossed all over the place.
It never moved.
His hair never moved.
I found a clip. This is a lot earlier than what I'm talking about. It's a Stone Cold versus Vince McMahon, and it's like, oh Jesus.
Yeah, he's oiled up.
Yeah, he's
Look at Stone Cold. He's like, hey, wait a minute.
What am I getting into?
What am I getting into?
Yeah, I know it's not fair to watch.
No, he looks like he's walking in wearing a suit that he doesn't own.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like
he can't believe it either.
Yeah, it looks fake. Like there's no way this guy can look this ripped, this shredded, except you obviously can tell it's not. That's not plastic surgery. That's real muscle.
It would come on late Saturday. I remember
that actually
he had it was like a Tonight Show format. Him at a desk, and a couch and a chair.
Yeah.
With his sidekick Gorilla Monsoon. And
oh Jesus!
And you would see this jacket that Vince would have on. Now, obviously, Gorilla Monsoon was a huge individual, but he was not. He was just a big guy. But Vince McMahon, you could tell by the way the cut of the jacket that this guy he had very very specially tailored dress wear.
Yeah, even more so than your average rich person.
Yes. I can't imagine. Well, look what he does for a living. Look what he does for a living. He's got to spend some time in the gym sometime. He's talking to somebody.
Oh, sure. Yeah, obviously, in the nature of any sort of business like wrestling, you have to spend some time in the gym in order to keep up a front.
I'd recommend it.
I just wasn't expecting. I was expecting like to be toned.
Sure.
Not flabby at all. But there's a difference between being toned and not flabby at all, and whatever the frick I'm looking at on this video screen right here, with between Stone Cold and Vince. Now, granted, Vince is losing at this particular point, but I'm just like, dude, you did a lot of like. That's a lot of shoulder and chest.
That's a lot of work right there.
Yeah, it makes me wonder. You
can't buy that.
You can't buy that. No, that's a lot of work.
I don't care if you go to a cosmetic surgeon or not.
No, that's not plastic surgery. That's real.
That's decades in the gym right there.
Oh yeah, it actually makes me wonder. Since you only see him from like the waist up. Do you think he skipped leg day?
Probably skipped leg day.
Ha!
Oh, we hate you even more, Vince McMahon.
Every day is leg day.
Every day is leg day.
Every day is leg day.
Good grief, people.
I'm just gonna say it. I don't care who knows it or who agrees or who disagrees. I'm gonna say it.
Cause you're an outlaw.
No. Not because you're an outlaw for skipping leg day. No.
Not an outlaw.
No. I'm gonna make this personal for some of you leg day skippers.
Yeah. Gilligan.
Because most of you guys, you just concentrate on your shoulders and your chest, which is fine. In your arms, that's cool. I get it.
Yeah.
That's cool. I honestly get it. I go to the gym, or at least I did before, the beer pandemic. So, look, I get it. You want to get your chest and your shoulders and your arms. That's cool. Right. Hey, guess what?
Shirts don't fit right.
Yeah, shirts don't fit right. That's cool. That's your business. But here's the thing. For you leg day skippers who only do your chest, arms, and shoulders, do you know what you look like to every woman in there or every guy in there, depending on your orientation?
Especially one of them CrossFit chicks busts up in there. They're built like a tank.
Yeah, you people that only do upper body, you know what you look like to the person you're trying to attract? You know what you look like? You look like you're about to fall over because you got these big old arms and chest and shoulders and these spindly little chicken legs. That's what you look like.
Don't have a large below the waist fashion budget, do you?
No, you don't. So every single time I catch someone checking me out at the gym, I go, I look at their face, look at their chest, I look at their legs. As soon as I see those spindly little chicken legs, I'm like, oh yeah, you have no idea what you're getting yourself into.
I can still wear the same pants I wore in high school. Yeah, no, Sherlock.
Yeah, more like the 5th grade.
Husky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's a little off-putting.
And then just to prove my dominance, I go on the what is it called? It's that leg press where you lay down.
Oh, the horizontal leg press.
Yeah. And I just put like a couple extra pounds on there, more than they could ever do. I think my record was like 250 back when I was under my trainer.
Probably.
And I would just do sets of that, just be like, ha!
What do you having you do, like sets of 100 and crazy stuff like that?
Okay, my trainer.
I mean, we don't have to go, too deep into it.
No, we don't. We don't have to go too deep into it. My trainer was a good dude.
Great dude.
Great dude. Great guy. He's a great guy. But
he definitely enjoyed those high rep schemes.
All right, for people who understand gym mechanics, and me as a novice, I barely do. So you definitely would understand what I'm doing. Now, I've heard it referred to as a pyramid.
Yes.
Sort.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Where, you would do high reps on a low weight.
Yes.
And then as you go up, you increase your weight, but you decrease the reps.
Correct.
Does that make sense?
That's correct.
Okay. Now,
start out with a light weight.
Yeah.
Let's just say 10 reps, and then you increase the weight and go to 8 reps. Increase the weight, go to 6 reps. Increase the weight, go to, and so on and so forth. And then if you want to, you can back down the other way, where once you hit the heaviest weight at 2 reps or 1 rep, wherever you are.
Yeah.
And you could turn the corner and go back the other way.
Yeah.
Lighten it, go to 4 reps, and lighten it, go to 6 reps. Some people will stop at the 2 heaviest reps and then go back to the original weight where you did 10 reps, and then just do as many reps as you can to flush blood. This is all sorts of little techniques that you can.
We'll probably get into that one
initiate.
episode.
Absolutely.
I definitely want to talk about it. We're just going to call it the gym episode. Yeah. And just talk about that, because I want to learn too.
Sure.
But here's the thing. For those of you who understood what Scratch is talking about, and people who understand gym mechanics and techniques like that, this is what my trainer had me do. He'd had me do in reverse pyramids, which is high weight, high reps. And then as I decreased in weight, I would decrease the reps. But here's the thing. Now, to some of you, you're thinking, well, what's wrong with that? And even some of the gym rats, they're like, well, that's fine if you do it a certain way.
That's called a reverse overload.
A reverse overload. Okay. So basically, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with that. There really isn't. But here's the thing. He would start me at, I think, this was like the last week before we decided to call it quits, because it was just screwing up my knee hard. He had me at, I think, if I remember correctly, I might be about approximately 10 pounds off. He had me at approximately 150 pounds on the, oh God, it's been like 6 months. It's the one where you're sitting.
Leg extensions.
Leg extensions, thank you. Had me at 150 pounds on the leg extensions, doing 120 reps on that. And every 10 pounds, I would go from like 120, and then 120 at 150 pounds, you go to 140 pounds, you'd be 110 reps. And it would just go down by tens.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, my quads are made of steel, but my knees are basically ash.
Yeah. Well, all those years of, your knee ligaments have got to be a little stretched out. All those years of taekwondo.
Kicking people in the face.
Taekwondo. So the ligature in your knees is definitely a little more stretched out than the average person.
That would explain why they pop all the time, but I don't feel any pain.
And those high reps, especially for women, because women their legs are very, from the waist down, type of move like that probably works very well for women.
Mm-hmm.
Very strong.
Don't forget your hamstrings, though.
Yeah, got to remember that. Save the knee.
Mm-hmm. But you were saying?
No, I mean it's yeah. I mean if you hadn't had all those those years of martial arts,
I'd probably be in a friggin' wheelchair by now if that's the
I don't
case.
know about that.
I'm just saying, like, that is just crazy. 150 pounds to start. Like, I didn't do any warm-ups. It's like, okay, like, do
that's tough on the joint. That's really tough. It's
like,
on
do
the
3
joint.
lunges, like, 3 rounds of lunges, and then go do 150 pounds on the leg extension. It's like, what?
And I don't recommend lunges anyway. I know there's a bunch anything that. The problem with lunges is that it's
people do them wrong.
People do them wrong, and when you either perform them wrong from the beginning, which is
common,
very common, or then you I'm going to do high reps, and you get tired and you start compromising your form. Because you have a number in your head. I'm going to do 150 reps. So you really, say you get to about 85.
And you get tired.
And you get to where your form begins to break down. But you're going to, eye of the tiger, it's the thrill. You're going to eye the tiger and, just bull your way on through to 150.
Mm-hmm.
And then you end up with your knee hurting.
Yep.
And that's the reason. That's the biggest reason I don't like lunges.
Reverse lunges are fine.
Reverse lunges definitely be that's instead of stepping forward, you'd step back.
Mm-hmm.
Reverse lunges would definitely decrease your knee stress by at least 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Because you wouldn't. You have a tendency when you're performing high reps to not only lose form but increase the pace, because you get to a point where you realize that you got that number in your head and I'm going to get that 150. Mm-hmm. And then you begin to really
350?
You begin
I'm sorry, it just popped in my head.
You begin to no worries. You begin to hurry up. Mm-hmm. So your knee begins to go out over your foot.
Preach it. Save for the people in the back.
Nail your foot. But yeah, I don't like lunges. I know I see a lot of people doing lunges, especially these weighted lunges. Oh my God!
Weighted lunges is the devil's lettuce.
I'm telling you right now.
What did I just say?
I don't care what your trainer is showing you. Knock it off, because 20 years from now, you are not gonna like it.
Okay, for some reason I said weighted lunges is the devil's lettuce, and I don't know what I said. If it makes sense to you, then it makes sense.
Yes, I would like some bacon bits, please. Yeah, but these, I see people doing some. I just have to walk away from them at the gym.
Yeah, because you just look at them and you're just like, nope. I can't look at you.
I hope you have health insurance. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, some really good health insurance.
Really good health insurance. I heard all the time, and I don't know why. Well,
I know why. It's because you're being dumb.
You're shearing that knee, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
You only got 2 of them.
Yep. Yeah, this ain't Cyberpunk 2077 where they just give you implants and you just have like bionic knees where you can jump to the moon.
Oh, I had a knee replacement. Yeah, well, it's easy to say. It's very easy to think about, but living through it,
no, not good.
No, you don't want to deal with it.
You don't want to do it.
So save the knee.
Yeah, save your knees, save your joints.
Yeah.
At least until they invent cybernetics, and you just blow everything off with a super soaker. I almost said something else, but nope, not advertiser friendly.
Sarah Connor.
I'm looking for Sarah Connor.
Sarah Connor.
But anyway, so yeah. Oftentimes at roughly the tail end of any recording we do, I have to wonder, how did we get here? We were talking about parents having to deal with their kids, and now we're talking about, the weighted lunges being the devil's lettuce or something. I'm going to put that on a shirt one day. And the Terminator, yeah.
Get to the chopper.
Well, that's Predator, but still Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And Commando. Well, no.
No.
There was a helicopter in Mando.
Oh well.
Oh well.
But I'm trying to think. I know it's like it technically is time, but at the same time it's like
Eh.
eh.
Oh,
What?
the recovered thing, the busted stuff, the Vietnamese thing.
I'm
Want
not
to get into that.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
The used.
All right.
We're trying to be topical.
We're trying to be topical. We're also trying to be tactical.
Tactical and tactful.
Uh-huh. All right, look. There was something we saw. Well, technically you saw it.
I saw it 2 days ago.
I saw it 2 days
it's
ago.
definitely
I saw it last night.
Current event. Man, this thing was one of the most outrageous things I've ever seen in my entire life. And I've been around.
Hang on. There was a thing. I'm trying to say this as tactful as possible.
Myself.
Allow me to introduce myself. Yeah.
Fame.
I'm just saying, there was a bust.
A bust? The authorities got involved.
There was a police raid in Vietnam where approximately, well, probably more than 300,000 used, I'm trying to say this as tactfully as possible, rappers, let's say rappers, special rappers, were apparently...
Bone gloves.
Yes, bone gloves. That's perfect.
Oh, that's
300,000 used bone gloves were being redistributed for reselling in Vietnam, and there was a police raid about it.
Yeah. Condom.
What?
That's a fair term.
No, it ain't. Not anymore. Right. This is YouTube.
All right. Okay.
Anything having to do with reproduction or
really
violence, anything that's not deemed advertiser friendly, basically.
Oh.
I'm telling you, YouTube is whack. I don't like censoring myself any more than you do, but holy crap.
So they wouldn't appreciate the word Trojan.
Probably not.
Or Ramses, which are both figures of Greek
historical context.
Prose. Anyway,
it's very I'm not joking.
No, but no, this 300,000.
This is like some
300,000
for resale.
Reprocessed for resale. I can't even fit into my head
how. Why?
I mean, where do you collect them?
Yeah, that's my question.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something.
Actually, I don't want to know.
There's some very bad there's some very stomach churning possibilities to get your hands on that kind of number. Probably involves a plumber. But man, that's crazy. I mean, what do? You just take, was there like a, so it's like the mailbox, you just drop it off in there on the way to work one morning.
According to this particular article, said the police in Vietnam had seized more than 300,000 used bone gloves that had been yeah, that's still a good word.
Hey, it's legal.
It had been boiled, dried, and put up for sale in a southern province. Okay, so basically, so they didn't just pluck them out of the trash and went, yep, and put them on the counter.
How do you? I mean, I can't fit it into my. I just can't. I cannot fit it into my head.
I can't either.
300,000. 300,000. How do you get your hands on that many? How do you process it? I don't even want to look at the manufacturing process that allows you to repackage them for resale.
Or do you just like put it on like your store counter and go 50 cents?
Or you just dive bomb provinces out of an airplane, just drop them out, just drop them out of the belly of a sea. What is it? Seafood? Not seafood.
I don't know.
Anyway, big airplane.
Just say like biplane or something.
Exactly. Crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy, and I'm just like,
Are they? And there another thing is, are they for resale?
Yes, it says specifically for resale.
Resale
for the exact same thing.
Wow.
Honestly and truly, I'm just over here like, out of a very terrible year. Very, very terrible year.
Very terrible year.
Very terrible year.
The cherry on the top, no pun intended, is...
Oh, just wait. The year's not over.
No, it isn't.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Been rough for everybody. So far, the topping is 300,000
bone gloves.
Love gloves. Love gloves. Reprocessed.
I just...
Is it any wonder there's been a population explosion? No, that's crazy. That's just crazy.
Well, of course there's been a population explosion. Everyone's inside.
There is going to be a generation.
Do you think there might be like I hesitate to say it for all of you Zoomers out there, and myself included.
Zoom.
Myself included, but you think there might be the result of this quarantine, there might be a second baby boom?
That thought has crossed my mind regularly.
Yeah, except we're not going to call them baby boomers, or we're not going to call them boomers.
No.
We're going to call them children of the corn.
Children of the corn. There has to be.
And then they grow older, and we're going to call them the quarantines.
Corn. Oh, okay, I get it. Play on words. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Children of the corn. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there might be a possibility of a second baby boom because of this quarantine.
There's going to be something. I don't know how large it's going to be.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be something.
There's going to be an event.
All these
measured.
Yeah, all these population controlling people, they're going to be mighty angry, I guess. I don't know. I really don't care. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do? Well, it's really not their fault. They're constantly fed this this line that I disagree with entirely, because there's still a tremendous amount of real estate on this planet that is unoccupied. This whole overpopulation situation. It's overpopulated in the cities. Yeah.
We'll probably elaborate about it more with in time.
In general,
during the paywall,
there's a tremendous amount of area that is unoccupied in this country.
Yeah, we'll definitely elaborate.
Planet.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely have to elaborate that later, but for right now, it's pretty much E.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the most horrifying thing I had read in a very long time.
Another quarantine.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You don't want to get... That's too contagious. I just... But anyway.
I think we're going to wrap this up. I'm being summoned, and I don't think I'm going to say yes, so...
I got you.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably going to say no because I had plans, but yeah, whatever. So... Dang it, I gotta figure out how to do that and not clip the audio. Anyway, we
We
were Bel-E and Scratch. I was your host, Bel-E.
and I am your departing co-host, Scratch.
We were recording from the attic basement. I don't know if I said that earlier, but there you go. And I guess we're going to have to catch you next time. We still don't have an outro. We're just kind of still winging it and, fixing stuff up.
Gonna get there.
Gonna get there one of these days. So, I hope you guys have a good day or good night. I don't know. And I don't care. So, bye.
Peace out.